What up, dude bros? I'm Frank. This is my triple Nemesis project. That's it for the firing demo and the snazzy editing. Now I'm just going to talk through the project to let you better understand what's going on here. So it's named a triple Nemesis because it's 3 Nemesis blasters kind of all combined. This is a single unmodified Nemesis and it's pretty awesome. 100 round capacity, fully automatic, super fast to reload because it features the hopper, meaning you're not hand loading one by one into a spring-loaded magazine. You just dump balls in and go. I thought this blaster was fantastic. Well, and I still do, but at the New York Toy Fair, I saw the Rival Prometheus, which doubles the capacity and also increases the rate of fire of the Nemesis. And I thought, wow, the Prometheus seems totally excessive. But how can we go further? One thing led to another, and then I made this. So it's 3 Nemesis blasters joined side by side. As you can see, lay 1, 2, and 3. The center blaster is the only full-size blaster with the pistol grip and the stock back here. The 2 like sidecar blasters on the side do not have the back portion, and that's because I didn't need them. When I press this rev trigger, it revs all 3 flywheel sets all at once, and when I pull this one trigger, it fires all 3 blasters at once. There's no way to disable or enable 1 or 2 or whatever. It just fires all or nothing. So securing all of these blasters together, I have a piece of 1/4 inch polycarbonate underneath, kind of acting as a mounting plate. To be able to screw from the outside for maintenance or whatever, if I need to disassemble this, I can. I JB welded a few nuts on the inside of each of the blasters. That makes sure they don't go loose in the blaster or whatever, and when you start to thread in a bolt, it doesn't start like twirling or anything. Other solutions to that problem? Sure, that's how I did it. I used a similar mounting configuration with my Hyper Strike blaster from a few years ago, which was 3 rapid strikes mounted up in a pretty much the exact same way. 1 full size with 2 sidecars. Also underneath here, I have a tripod mount right there, which slides into my tripod right here. Then you can tighten it on the side, and then it's secured to the tripod. This is a Manfrotto fluid video head. I would say it's too expensive for just a Nerf project, but I have it for, you know, shooting video and stuff. And now that I've used a blaster like this or a turret configuration like this, it'll be kind of hard to go back to the Rhino fire, because if you let go of the blaster, it falls down. In this, you know, you can fire this and then kind of walk away from it. If you're trying to reload, it just stays still, and that's fantastic. And as you can see, it rotates freely. You can lock the rotation, but I don't think there's really any reason to. But if you're shooting at people, they tend to be at different ranges, so to change elevations, you can loosen that, and then that'll allow you to move the blaster up and down while it's still secured to the tripod. Now, if you let go of this, it will fall, so it's pretty quick to adjust that. And then if you need your hands again, you tighten it, and it'll hold up by itself. From the beginning, I wanted this to be primarily a turret blaster, like to sit up on a tripod or like behind a barrier or something cool like that. But a secondary objective was to be able to pick up the blaster and walk around with it. Now, it's a little impractical because it's so big, but that's just inherent with a 1,200 round capacity, unless you're Captain Xavier with a freaking backpack like minigun thing. And that's completely baller and all, but the project aim was to be able to have this like a freestanding thing, so as a turret blaster, it's sitting there ready to go. You didn't have to put on a backpack or anything like that. And it's heavy because it's, well, 3 Nemesis blasters, primarily all of this ammo. It's not especially wieldy, but it's possible, and that was the project goal. If I lowered the capacity, it would be a lot easier to wield like this. The blaster batteries are held in the factory tray area. I have a 3S or 11.1 volt LiPo battery, and that is responsible for revving all 3 blasters all at the same time. And I actually have a separate battery pack. This is 3 14500 or AA size IMRs. And these are responsible for the feeding mechanisms or to fire. Wanted to separate the circuits because it's a little simpler with how I wired it up. If you're an electronics guy, you probably just realized I copped out. And yeah, I did, but it works for me. But those just rest in the battery housing back there, and it works fairly well. In addition to the bottom polycarbonate plate mounting everything together, I also have 2 zip ties right here. And those just kind of grab the tops of the blasters and pull them towards the center blaster here. A lot of hot glue zip ties, you know, kind of a quick build. I did build this whole thing in a day, so it's not really reinforced for hardcore parkour. At the end of the day, I wouldn't want to use this in a war because, again, I'd just be blowing through so many balls, like it wouldn't even be funny. Oh, to the capacity, this is just an estimate here, but I have little like dashes with permanent marker, 500 and 1,000, and it'll hold of around 1,200. I haven't counted, and I'm not going to. That was an estimation based on measuring out 100, then adding intervals of 100 and sort of drawing it off. That's more for estimation than like precise measuring. The hopper unit here is just a plastic tote. I think I bought it from Home Depot for about $2. The top here is just the tote lid. I built it this way on purpose because the Nemesis has a 100 round capacity hopper, which is pretty awesome, but for whatever reason, it's tapered inward at the top instead of outward, which would be far more logical for a hopper. So you have this like 1.5 inch little opening. So when I reload the Nemesis fast, I drop balls all over the place. I really want some like ramps right here or something to make that port easier to load quickly. So that's why I didn't want to close this off. I didn't want to make a smaller hole or whatever. I just figured I'd take off the lid and be able to load this really easily. And you can. And really, I don't even know that I'd play with this thing shut because you need to sort of shake the balls every once in a while to get it to feed reliably, but that problem is actually caused by the weight of all of the balls on the top pushing down on the balls at the bottom. Like when you go scuba diving, you have water pressure, all of the water is sitting on top of you. All of these balls are pushing on those balls, trying to shove it through the hole down there, and then it clogs up. So every once in a while, you just need to shake it. If you're moving around with the blaster and it's not mounted on a turret, it wouldn't be an issue, or at least that big of an issue. And if you sit here and you just kind of move your hand around a little bit, no big deal. The bottom of the loading units do need to be modified to allow one conjoined hopper. This is 3 Nemesis blasters together, but all of their hoppers are integrated into one. The PVC is to build like an arc, so the balls have to pick one direction or another, and I put a bunch of like poster board and hot glued that around to kind of build ramps all within the hopper. And that's to push all the balls through the feeding ports. It works fairly well. At the very end, you have a few extra balls, but after 1,200 rounds, if you're complaining about 5 or 6 that don't launch, you're a big whiner. Just kidding. But seriously. Over here, these are little wire quick disconnects, and that's mostly for maintenance. If I have to open up the blasters, I didn't want to have to like snip these wires or permanently solder from one blaster to another. So then I can disconnect these, and I can actually take these apart with only minimal hot glue breakage up in the top. The clear tote would be removed, and then that's just like one more line of hot glue to re-secure it. Not a big deal. But the internals are relatively simple for electronic blasters, so I don't think I'll have to open these. This is just fun, man. I keep distracting myself. I think I've covered everything. This thing is an absolute beast, but really the modification was pretty simple. I did it in under a day. And for its role in, sit in the corner, maybe get a blaster board's fort and kind of build like a barrier, like custom built around it. Then, unstoppable. Crazy high rate of fire, awesome velocity. I mean, it's a 3S LiPo powering the already powerful Nemesis. High rate of fire out of each individual blaster because it's an upgraded feeding mechanism, and there are also 3 of them, so it spews foam. If you can't hit it with this type of blaster, you just really suck at aiming. I can't, oh my gosh. How can I have twirling things in front of me while I'm supposed to shoot a video? Tie my hands behind my back. Yeah, that is the triple Nemesis project. So Prometheus, come at me, bro. You're not even out yet. You just got one-upped. Woo! Very happy with how the project turned out, but I'd like to restate my opinion. This is terribly impractical for actual Nerf battles. It's 1,200 rounds, which is a lot of money and rival ammo. You don't have to reload magazines, but that has the inherent con of not appreciating every dart. It's like going full auto compared to semi-auto. When you have to shoot at a slower rate of fire, you aim a little bit more. Full auto, you just spray and pray because you forget the value of each dart. So when you have 1,200 rounds, you will just blow through balls, and not even in the fun way, and have to pick all of them up. And, that sucks. So super fun to assemble the project. I'll keep it in the corner, and if anybody upsets me, I'll just walk over and just light them up. But reasonably speaking, I'll probably stick to a Nemesis. That is the triple Nemesis project. Just sit here twirling this. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the section below. Thanks so much for watching, bros, and as always, stay tactical. Tactical twirl, go, go.